The cold billionaire never let anyone close. Then he chose his assistant in front of everyone. Gay love story. Hello everyone. Before we begin today's story, I have a small favor to ask. Please hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss any of our channel's new videos. It only takes a moment, it is completely free, and it is one of the best ways to support us as we continue bringing you more dramatic, heartfelt, and emotional love stories like this one. Your support truly means the world to us. And before we begin, tell me, where are you watching from today? Drop your city or country in the comments below. We always love seeing where our viewers are joining us from. Thank you so much for being here and for supporting the channel. Now, let us return to our main character and begin today's story. The strangest thing about Adrian Cole wasn't that nobody could get close to him. It was that one man already had, and Adrian was the last person to realize it. By 8:30 on a cold December evening, the ballroom of the Halston Grand in Manhattan glittered beneath crystal chandeliers, filled with investors, reporters, celebrities, and enough expensive suits to fund a small town. At the center of it all stood Adrian Cole, 39-year-old founder and CEO of Cole Meridian Group, looking exactly like a man who owned half the room and trusted none of it. His black tuxedo was immaculate. His expression was calm. His handshake lasted precisely as long as necessary. People approached. Adrian smiled. People laughed. Adrian nodded. Then they left knowing no more about him than when they arrived. He had perfected distance until it looked like elegance. Your 9 o'clock donor is approaching from the left, a quiet voice said beside him. Adrian didn't turn. I know. Of course you do. Noah Bennett stepped into view, tablet tucked beneath one arm, amusement flickering in his eyes. At 30, Noah had spent 4 years as Adrian's executive assistant, which meant he knew things nobody else noticed. Adrian hated sparkling water. He loosened his left cuff when irritated. He developed headaches when he skipped lunch, which he did constantly, and whenever someone mentioned his late mother, his face became perfectly still. Noah knew when to speak and, more importantly, when silence was kinder. You haven't eaten, Noah murmured. I'm working. You're standing near shrimp. That isn't the same thing. Remarkable. I'll alert medical science. Adrian glanced at him. For half a second, something almost warm crossed his face. Almost. Noah handed him a small plate anyway. Adrian took it without argument. Across the ballroom, cameras flashed. Nobody noticed the exchange. Nobody ever did. To everyone else, Noah was simply the assistant standing one careful step behind the billionaire. Efficient, dependable, replaceable. Adrian had used those words himself. Yet when the crowd became too loud, his eyes searched automatically for Noah. When conversations became unbearable, Noah somehow appeared with an excuse. When Adrian forgot to be human, Noah quietly reminded him. Mr. Cole, Noah said. Adrian looked over. What? Noah hesitated, then smiled. Nothing. Your next meeting is in 5 minutes. He walked toward the ballroom doors, and Adrian watched him longer than necessary before forcing his attention back to the crowd. Noah's phone vibrated inside his pocket. He waited until he reached the hallway before checking it. One new email. He opened it, expecting another schedule change. Instead, he stopped walking. The message was from Hartwell and Pierce. Executive Director position. 40% salary increase. More authority. A life that belonged to him. At the bottom were 3 words Noah had secretly wanted and suddenly feared. We choose you. Behind him, through the ballroom doors, Adrian stood surrounded by hundreds of people and completely alone. Noah stared at the offer, his thumb hovering over the screen. For 4 years, he had made himself indispensable to a man who had never once asked whether Noah planned to stay. And for the first time, Noah wondered what would happen if he didn't. The offer remained on Noah Bennett's phone all the way home, through 6 hours of restless sleep, and into the next morning, when he arrived at Cole Meridian Group at 7:15 and found Adrian already working. Of course he was. Adrian Cole treated sleep like an optional subscription he had canceled years ago. Good morning, Noah said, placing a coffee beside the laptop. Adrian glanced at the cup. 2 shots. 2 shots, 1 teaspoon of sugar, no cream, because apparently happiness is a threat to productivity. Adrian looked up. You are unusually talkative. You are unusually awake. I am always awake. That explains so much. There it was again, that almost smile Adrian never allowed to fully exist. Noah had spent 4 years collecting those tiny expressions like loose change, and suddenly the thought embarrassed him. He knew Adrian's schedule better than his own. He knew which tie Adrian wore when he needed confidence, which restaurant he secretly hated, and why December 18th was always blocked from meetings. It was the anniversary of his mother's death. Noah never mentioned it. He simply made sure Adrian had no public obligations after 5 that evening. Adrian noticed everything about business and almost nothing about himself. Or Noah. At 10:30, Noah entered the office carrying contracts. Your lunch with Senator Wallace moved to 12:30. Legal needs 20 minutes before that. Your sister called twice. Adrian signed the first page. Did she say why? She wants you at dinner Sunday. Tell her I am traveling. You are not traveling. Adrian's pen stopped. Noah. Adrian. Silence. Noah rarely used his first name at work. Adrian slowly lifted his eyes. Are you challenging me? I am preventing you from lying to your sister because you dislike family dinners. That is not in your job description. Neither is making sure you eat vegetables, yet here we are. Adrian stared at him, then returned to the contract. Sunday at 7. Noah smiled. I already told her you would be there. You are impossible. And yet my performance reviews remain excellent. Later that afternoon, Noah's father called. Noah stepped into the hallway, keeping his voice low. His father needed help getting to a medical appointment the following morning. Noah promised he would handle it, then returned to his desk and immediately opened Adrian's calendar, calculating what could be rearranged. Before he could finish, Adrian appeared in the doorway. Go home. Noah blinked. Excuse me? Your father has an appointment. Noah stared at him. You heard that? Adrian's expression tightened, almost defensive. The hallway is not soundproof. I can manage both. I did not ask whether you could. Adrian placed a folder on Noah's desk. Come in at noon tomorrow. But your 8 o'clock meeting. I have attended meetings without you before. Noah raised an eyebrow. Successfully. Adrian ignored that. Go. Noah watched him return to his office and felt something inconvenient tighten in his chest. That was the problem with Adrian. Every time Noah convinced himself the man did not see him, Adrian did something quietly kind and ruined the argument. Noah looked at his phone. The job offer was still waiting. Accept or decline. 2 simple choices. Then Adrian called from his office. Noah, did you move the Morrison call? Already done. Of course you did. Noah looked toward the open doorway. Adrian had remembered his father. Noah wondered whether that meant anything. Then he wondered how many more years he was willing to spend guessing. 3 weeks later, Noah discovered that a delayed flight could accomplish what 4 years of working beside Adrian Cole never had. Could make the man talk. They were in Chicago for a 2-day acquisition meeting when freezing rain grounded every flight back to New York. By 10 that evening, the hotel restaurant had closed, the lobby had emptied, and Adrian was still sitting in a private conference room on the 23rd floor, staring at financial projections as though he could personally negotiate with the weather. Noah appeared in the doorway carrying 2 paper bags. Dinner. Adrian did not look up. I am not hungry. That is unfortunate because I just paid $28 for a turkey sandwich that appears to contain $6 of turkey. Adrian finally glanced at him. You complain about prices while working for a billionaire. Your money does not make my sandwich less offensive. Noah set 1 bag beside him. Adrian stared at it, then closed his laptop. Victory. Small, ridiculous victory. They ate beside the window while ice traced silver lines across the glass and downtown Chicago glowed below them. Without ringing phones and waiting executives, the silence felt different. Softer. Noah loosened his tie. Adrian noticed. What? Noah asked. Nothing. You have been staring for 7 seconds. You counted. Occupational hazard. Adrian looked toward the window. Noah smiled, but the smile faded when his phone vibrated. Hartwell and Pierce. Final reminder. The offer expired Friday. He turned the screen face down. Adrian's eyes followed the movement. Problem? Not yet. That sounds like a future problem. Maybe. Adrian waited. Noah expected another question. None came. Of course, Adrian could negotiate a 9-figure acquisition without blinking, but asking someone what was wrong apparently required congressional approval. Noah leaned back. Can I ask you something? You usually do regardless. Do you ever get tired of being untouchable? Adrian went still. Outside, sleet tapped softly against the window. That is an unusual question to ask your employer. We are eating overpriced sandwiches at 10:30 at night because the airport is closed. I think normal office rules have temporarily surrendered. Adrian almost smiled. Then his expression changed. My father believed dependence was weakness, he said quietly. Noah said nothing. Adrian continued. He trusted people until they disappointed him. Eventually, he decided the solution was not to trust anyone. And you agreed? I was 17. Children often mistake their parents' fear for wisdom. Noah studied him. That was more truth than Adrian had offered in 4 years. Your father was wrong. Adrian looked at him. You sound very certain. I am. Noah folded the sandwich wrapper carefully. Letting people matter is not weakness. Pretending nobody matters because you are afraid they might leave sounds much harder. Adrian's gaze dropped to Noah's hands. And if they leave anyway? The question was so quiet Noah nearly missed it. Something shifted between them. Noah suddenly understood that Adrian's distance had never been emptiness. It was fear wearing an expensive suit. Then at least they knew they mattered while they were there. Adrian looked directly at him, and for once neither man escaped into humor. You matter, Adrian said. Noah stopped breathing for half a second. Adrian seemed startled by his own words. To the company, he added quickly. There it was, the wall rebuilding itself brick by brick. Noah gave a small smile that did not reach his eyes. Of course. Adrian opened his mouth as if he wanted to correct himself, but Noah's phone rang. The airline had found them seats on a morning flight. By the time the call ended, Adrian's laptop was open again. The moment had passed. Noah picked up his phone and looked once more at the unanswered offer. Friday suddenly felt very close. By Friday morning, Noah had almost convinced himself that Chicago had meant nothing. Almost. Then a photograph appeared online. It showed Adrian and Noah leaving the hotel together before sunrise, Adrian holding the door while Noah carried both briefcases. There was nothing romantic about it. Unfortunately, the internet had never required evidence when imagination was available. By 9 o'clock, business blogs were asking whether Cole Meridian's famously private chief executive had a secret relationship with his assistant. By 10, the board wanted answers. Noah entered the conference room beside Adrian and immediately felt every eye turn toward him. 12 executives sat around the polished table. Nobody smiled. This is absurd, Adrian said, taking his seat. Then it should be easy to address, board member Richard Caldwell replied. His gaze moved toward Noah. Some shareholders are questioning whether Mr. Bennett receives preferential treatment because of a personal relationship. Noah felt heat rise beneath his collar. For years, 4 years of 12-hour days, canceled weekends, impossible schedules, and fixing problems before anyone else knew they existed. Reduced to a rumor in one sentence. My performance records are available to the board, Noah said evenly. Caldwell barely acknowledged him. That is not really the issue. It is exactly the issue, Noah replied. Silence tightened around the table. Adrian's fingers stopped. Against his pen, Noah looked at him. For one dangerous second, he remembered Chicago. You matter. He waited for Adrian to say something. Anything. Adrian's jaw tightened. There is no personal relationship, he said. Noah's stomach dropped. Adrian continued, his voice calm and controlled. Mr. Bennett is my employee. He is my assistant. Nothing more. Nothing more. The words landed quietly, which somehow made them worse. Caldwell nodded, satisfied. Good. Then we can move forward. The meeting continued. Noah took notes. He corrected a revenue figure. He reminded Adrian about a call at 11:30. He even passed him the blue folder when Adrian reached automatically toward the wrong stack. Efficient. Dependable. Professional. Nothing more. When the meeting ended, Adrian followed Noah into the hallway. Noah, your call with Boston starts in 8 minutes. About what I said in there. Noah kept walking. You were very clear. I was protecting you. That made Noah stop. He turned slowly. Protecting me from what? Speculation. Questions. People trying to turn your career into gossip. So you protected my career by letting them question whether I earned it? Adrian's expression shifted. That is not what I meant. I know. Noah's voice softened, and somehow that seemed to trouble Adrian more. That is the problem. You never mean to hurt anyone. You just make every decision before anybody else gets to have a feeling about it. Adrian stared at him. What was I supposed to say? Noah almost answered. He almost told him that in Chicago, for 1 minute, he had believed Adrian was finally speaking to him instead of around him. Instead, Noah stepped back. Your call starts in 7 minutes. He returned to his desk, sat down, and opened his email. The Hartwell and Pierce offer waited at the top of the screen. Friday deadline. Noah read the final line once more. We choose you. From Adrian's office came the familiar sound of his voice beginning another meeting, steady and certain, as though nothing had changed. Noah placed his hand on the mouse. He thought about 4 years of remembering everything for a man who could not say Noah mattered without immediately. Hiding behind the company. He thought about the empty space after the words nothing more. Then Noah clicked accept. Noah waited until Monday morning to place the resignation letter on Adrian's desk. He had spent the weekend rehearsing the conversation, which turned out to be useless because Adrian stared at the envelope as if Noah had handed him instructions written in another language. What is this? Adrian asked. My resignation. Silence. Adrian looked at Noah, then back at the letter. No, Noah almost laughed. That is not usually how resignations work. You are upset about Friday. Friday helped me make a decision I should have made months ago. Adrian stood. Then take a week off. I already accepted another position. That stopped him. Completely. Where? Hartwell and Pierce. Doing what? Executive Director of Operations. Adrian's expression tightened. What are they paying you? Noah exhaled slowly. There it was. The language Adrian understood. Numbers. Contracts.
Solution.
It does not matter. Of course it matters. I will increase your salary by 50%. Adrian. 75. Stop. I can add equity. Stop. Adrian fell silent. Noah had never seen him look confused before. Angry, yes. Impatient, frequently. But confused? Never. What do you want? Adrian asked. Noah looked at him for a long moment. That question is 4 years late. Adrian's face changed. Barely. A small tightening around the eyes. Noah continued before courage abandoned him. I know when you need coffee before you ask. I know which meetings exhaust you. I know December 18th is difficult for you. I know you pretend you hate birthday cake but always eat the corner piece when nobody is watching. I know when you need me to speak. And I know when you need me to leave you alone. Adrian said nothing. Do you know my favorite restaurant? Noah asked. Silence. My middle name? Nothing. What I wanted to do before I became your assistant. Adrian's eyes dropped. Noah nodded once. Exactly. I can do better. The words came quickly, almost urgently. Noah swallowed. I never needed you to pay me more. I needed you to see me. Adrian stepped around the desk. I do see you. Then why did you call me nothing more? Because I was trying to protect you.
No.
You were protecting yourself. Adrian stopped. The room became painfully quiet. You made sure nobody could accuse you of caring. Noah said. And you succeeded. Adrian's voice lowered. That is not fair. Neither is asking me to stay because losing an efficient employee makes your life inconvenient. You think that is why I want you here? Noah looked directly at him. I do not know why you want me here, Adrian. You have never told me. For once, Adrian had no answer ready. Noah picked up the folder containing his transition plan and placed it beside the resignation letter. Every meeting, every contact, every unfinished project was organized inside. Of course it was. Noah had even prepared his own disappearance efficiently. My final day will be 2 weeks from Friday. Adrian stared at the folder. You planned all of this. I had to. Noah reached the door. Noah. He stopped but did not turn. Several seconds passed. Adrian could have said anything. Stay because you matter. Stay because I am afraid. Stay because the office feels different when you are gone. Instead, he whispered, I understand. Noah closed his eyes for one brief second. I know. Then he walked out, and Adrian stood alone beside a resignation letter, finally understanding that having every resource in the world meant very little when the one thing he wanted could not be purchased. The first Monday without Noah began with perfect coffee. That was how Adrian knew something was wrong. The new assistant, Melissa Grant, had arrived early, reviewed every page of Noah's transition notes, and placed a fresh cup beside Adrian's laptop at exactly 7:30. 2 shots. 1 teaspoon of sugar. No cream. Perfect. Adrian took 1 sip and set it down. Is something wrong? Melissa asked. No, that was becoming his favorite lie. 3 weeks had passed since Noah's final day at Cole Meridian, and nothing had fallen apart. Meetings started on time. Flights were booked. Contracts reached the correct desks. The company continued making money with almost insulting efficiency. Adrian had expected disruption. Instead, he discovered something worse. Noah had prepared everyone so thoroughly that the office did not need him anymore. Adrian did. At 9:15, Melissa reminded him about lunch. At 11, she moved a call without being asked. At 2, she handed him the blue folder before he reached for it. Every task was correct. Every detail was professional. And every correct thing reminded Adrian of someone else. At 6:40 that evening, the executive floor emptied. Adrian remained at his desk, listening to the clock. Tick, tick, tick. He had never noticed how loud it was before. His eyes drifted toward the empty workstation beyond the glass wall. Noah's ridiculous ceramic mug was gone. So was the small plant he had somehow kept alive despite the office lighting. The chair sat perfectly centered beneath the desk. Adrian hated that chair. He opened an old project folder simply to give himself something to do. Buried beneath quarterly reports was a proposal titled Family Care Initiative. Adrian frowned. He remembered approving the budget the previous year, but little else. He began reading. Flexible schedules for employees caring for aging parents. Emergency transportation assistance. Paid family support days. Partnerships with local care organizations. The proposal was practical, detailed, and unusually compassionate. At the bottom of the original draft was a name. Noah Bennett. Adrian leaned back slowly. He remembered the board praising the program after employee retention improved. He remembered accepting congratulations for approving it. He did not remember asking who had created it. The next morning, Adrian visited Human Resources. How many employees use the Family Care Initiative? He asked. Director Elaine Foster looked surprised. Nearly 300 across the company. And Noah designed it? Most of it. He refused to put his name on the launch materials. Why? Elaine smiled faintly. He said people who need help should not have to applaud the person helping them. Adrian looked away. That sounded exactly like Noah. Quiet, thoughtful, invisible by choice until Adrian had made him feel invisible by neglect. That evening, Adrian opened his phone and found Noah's contact. His thumb hovered over the call button. He could summon attorneys, executives, drivers, entire rooms of people with one message. But Noah was no longer his employee. Adrian had no calendar entry that gave him the right to Noah's time. For the first time, that distinction mattered. He lowered the phone. Then he noticed something on the corner of his bookshelf. A birthday card from 2 years earlier, written in Noah's familiar handwriting. Adrian had kept it without knowing why. He opened it. The message was simple. I hope this year gives you something you cannot put on a balance sheet. Adrian read the sentence twice, then a third time. The office around him was immaculate, expensive, and painfully quiet. Noah had spent 4 years making Adrian's world easier, but that had never been the important part. He had made it warmer. Adrian finally understood the difference, and understanding arrived exactly when Noah was no longer there to see it. Adrian waited 4 days before calling Noah, not because he needed 4 days to decide what to say, but because he needed 4 days to understand what he had no right to ask for. When Noah answered on Thursday evening, his voice was familiar enough to make Adrian forget his prepared words. Hello. Adrian stood beside his office window, Manhattan glowing 40 floors below. It is Adrian. Pause. I know. Your name is still in my phone. Adrian almost smiled. Can I see you? Another pause. Longer this time. Is this about Cole Meridian? No. Do you need something from Hartwell and Pierce? No. Adrian tightened his grip on the phone. I need to apologize, and I would rather not do it through a screen. Noah agreed to meet Saturday morning at a small coffee shop in Brooklyn, far from boardrooms, assistants, and places where Adrian's name changed the temperature of a room. Adrian arrived 10 minutes early. Noah arrived exactly on time, wearing jeans, a navy sweater, and an expression Adrian could not read. Without the suit and tablet, he looked different. Or maybe Adrian had simply never looked carefully enough. You seem well, Adrian said. I am. Noah sat across from him. The new job is good. I am glad. Noah raised an eyebrow. Are you? Adrian deserved that. I am trying to be. Silence settled between them. Adrian could have filled it with explanations. Instead, he said, I was wrong. Noah's expression softened slightly, but he said nothing. When the board questioned your position, I used your title to create distance between us. I told myself I was protecting your reputation. I was protecting mine. More specifically, I was protecting myself from admitting that you mattered to me in a way I did not know how to manage. Noah looked down at his coffee. Adrian continued, and I made your work sound smaller than it was. I made you sound smaller than you are. I am sorry. Thank you, Noah said quietly. Adrian nodded. No defense. No negotiation. No offer hidden inside the apology. Noah studied him. So what happens now? Nothing you do not choose. That answer seemed to surprise him. You are not going to ask me to come back? No salary increase? No equity. Adrian winced. I deserved that. Noah almost laughed. The sound was brief, but Adrian had missed it more than he wanted to admit. I found the family care initiative, Adrian said. Noah's smile disappeared. You found that now? Yes. A year after you approved it. Yes. Adrian did not look away. That is part of why I am here. I spent years noticing what you did for me, and almost no time noticing who you were when you were not doing something for me. Noah's eyes became bright, though his voice remained steady. That hurt more than Friday. I know. No, Adrian. I do not think you did. Adrian absorbed the words without resisting them. You are right. Noah looked toward the window. I cared about you, more than was sensible. Adrian's breath caught. Noah. But caring about someone does not mean waiting forever for them to become ready. Adrian felt the old instinct rise immediately. Fix it. Offer something. Make the problem disappear. He let the instinct pass. Then do not wait. Noah turned back. Adrian's voice was quiet. Build your life. Take the job. Be happy. If there is ever room for me in that life, I would be grateful. If there is not, I will still be grateful that you were in mine. Noah stared at him for several seconds. You really have changed. I am trying. That is not the same thing. No, Adrian gave a small, uncertain smile. But I think it is where changing starts. When they left the coffee shop, they walked together for 1 block before reaching the corner. Noah turned right. Adrian needed to go left. For 4 years, Adrian had expected Noah to follow wherever he went. This time, he simply stood there. "Take care, Noah." Noah looked back. "You too, Adrian." Then they walked in opposite directions, and Adrian did not chase him. For the first time in his life, letting someone choose felt less like losing control and more like learning what love was supposed to mean. 3 months later, Noah walked into the Cole Meridian Annual Charity Gala as a guest for the first time in 4 years, and the difference felt almost ridiculous. No tablet, no schedule, no emergency charger hidden in his jacket. Nobody asking him where Adrian was supposed to be in 6 minutes. Hartwell and Pierce had purchased a table for the event, and Noah had spent the evening talking with colleagues who introduced him by his new title instead of explaining whose assistant he used to be. He should have felt completely free. Mostly, he did. Then Adrian stepped onto the stage. Noah had seen him speak before crowds dozens of times. Adrian was always composed, always prepared, always impossible to read. Tonight was different in one small way. Before beginning his remarks, Adrian looked across the ballroom and found Noah. Their eyes met. Adrian paused. Just 1 second. Then he continued. The evening centered on Cole Meridian's largest charitable commitment to date, an expansion of employee family support programs across several partner organizations. Adrian spoke about dignity, responsibility, and the importance of building companies that treated people as human beings rather than numbers on a spreadsheet. Noah felt something tighten gently in his chest. Adrian had listened. After the speech came questions from the press. Most were predictable until a reporter near the front raised her hand. "Mr. Cole, there has been renewed interest in your former assistant, Noah Bennett, especially now that his family care model is receiving industry attention. Last year, when questions arose about your relationship, you described him as only your assistant. Do you still stand by that?" The ballroom changed. Conversations disappeared. Noah felt dozens of faces turn toward him. It was the conference room all over again. Same pressure, same waiting silence, same opportunity to hide. Adrian looked at the reporter, then at Noah. He stepped away from the podium. "No," he said. "One word. Clear. Certain. I do not stand by it." A murmur moved through the room. Adrian continued. "I said that because I was afraid of what honesty might cost me. In doing so, I diminished someone whose work, character, and kindness deserved far better from me." Noah forgot about the cameras. Adrian's voice remained steady, but his hands were no longer perfectly still. Noah Bennett was never only anything. He was an exceptional assistant. He is now an exceptional executive. He created a program that has helped hundreds of families, and he did it without asking for recognition. Adrian took a breath. "And personally, he became the person I trusted most long before I had the courage to admit what that meant." The room was silent. Noah's heart was not. "I care about him," Adrian said. "Deeply. I am saying that publicly because I once denied it publicly, and he deserved better. But I am not asking him for anything tonight. His life belongs to him. His choices belong to him. They always should have." For years, Adrian had protected himself with distance. Now he stood beneath bright lights with nowhere to hide and chose honesty anyway. The applause began somewhere near the back, tentative at first, then spreading across the ballroom. Adrian did not look at the crowd. He looked only at Noah. Noah slowly stood. Adrian's expression shifted, uncertainty breaking through the polished billionaire everyone else knew. Noah crossed the room. He stopped several feet from the stage. "That was a very expensive way to apologize," Noah said. A few people laughed softly. Adrian's mouth curved into the small smile Noah had spent years collecting. "I was advised that salary increases were no longer effective." Noah laughed despite himself. Then his expression softened. "You meant all of that? Every word? Even if I walk out that door?" Adrian looked toward the ballroom exit, then back at him. "Especially then." Something inside Noah finally became quiet. Not because Adrian had chosen him in front of everyone, but because Adrian had finally understood that choosing someone meant allowing them to choose too. Noah did not give Adrian his answer beneath the chandeliers. That mattered. Instead, when the gala ended and the last reporters drifted toward the exits, Noah found Adrian alone on a quiet terrace overlooking Manhattan. The December air was cold enough to turn every breath visible, and traffic moved far below them in ribbons of white and red. Adrian had removed his bow tie and loosened his collar, looking less like the billionaire from the stage and more like the man Noah had once shared an overpriced turkey sandwich with in Chicago. "You disappeared," Adrian said. "I was thinking." "Dangerous habit." Noah smiled. "I learned it from an emotionally unavailable billionaire." Adrian gave a quiet laugh. Months ago, Noah would have treasured that sound because it was rare. Now he simply enjoyed it. That difference mattered too. Noah stepped beside him at the railing. "I need to ask you something." Adrian turned toward him. "Would you still have said everything tonight if you knew I was going to walk away afterward?" Adrian did not hesitate. "Yes. Even knowing people would talk?" "Yes. Even if there was nothing in it for you?" Adrian's expression softened. "Especially then." Noah looked out across the city. For 4 years, he had wanted Adrian to choose him. Somewhere along the way, he had learned that being chosen was not enough if he had to disappear inside someone else's life to earn it. "I am not coming back to Cole Meridian," Noah said. "I know. I like my job. I know. I want my own career, my own accomplishments. I do not want to spend my life standing behind you holding a schedule." Adrian nodded. "Then do not." Noah turned. "You really mean that?" "I spent most of my life believing love meant keeping everything under control." Adrian's voice became quieter. "You taught me that caring about someone means accepting that they are free to leave. That sounds terrifying." "It is." Noah laughed softly. "Good. You might finally be human." Adrian smiled, but there was nervousness beneath it. Noah had never seen that before. Not from him. It was strangely beautiful. "I cannot promise this will be easy," Noah said. "I do not need easy. You used to schedule lunch in 15-minute blocks. I have grown. You scheduled this gala 6 months ago. Growth is gradual." Noah laughed again, and this time Adrian joined him. Then the laughter faded, leaving something gentler behind. Noah reached for Adrian's hand. Adrian looked down at their fingers as if the simple gesture meant more than any contract he had ever signed. He closed his hand around Noah's. "No cameras. No aplausos. No audience. Just a choice made quietly between two people." Months later, Noah was still at Hartwell and Pierce, leading his own team and expanding the family care model nationally. Adrian still worked too much, but now he occasionally left the office before sunset. They argued about dinner reservations, laughed about Adrian's terrible taste in television, and learned that love was less about grand declarations than remembering, listening, apologizing, and showing up again tomorrow. At the next Cole Meridian event, Adrian entered the ballroom and instinctively moved ahead through the crowd. After several steps, he stopped. He looked back. Noah was talking with another guest near the entrance. Adrian waited. Noah noticed and smiled. Then he walked toward him. For years, Noah had followed one step behind. This time, Adrian did not move until Noah reached his side. Their shoulders aligned, their hands brushed, and together as equals they walked into the room.